EntrepreNext. Written and narrated by Nick Barnsdall. Recorded and produced at Brisbane Audiobook Production. Chapter 1. So you've launched your business. Now what? Potatoes today, caviar tomorrow. I was 28 when I launched the company Hyundai Construction Equipment in Australia, and I paid myself $39,000 per year. My wife Lindsay and I have always loved to challenge ourselves, and at the time one of our favourite games was Who Can Spend the Least? Every weekend we would play $10 Weekend, and we would set a budget of $10 for the entire weekend. We made our own food, often chopping up potatoes to make homemade fries, and created our own fun. We played chess, stayed home, and cooked. While we were largely living on one small income, we never complained. In fact, we enjoyed it. We knew what would be waiting at the other end of the rainbow. We knew that our sacrifice and hard work would pay off someday. And now someday has come. I'm going to fill you in on how I went from potatoes to caviar, from having $10 weekends to having a net worth beyond the imagination of most. Do you have what it takes to do the same? Yes, you do, but you need to believe it. It's not the wedding, but the marriage that counts. Now let's talk about you. Once upon a time, an idea popped into your head, a simple spark, like magic dust, arrived in your mind. And you let it simmer until one fateful day you decided it could be more than just fairy dust. Whether your idea was the solution to one of your own problems or the answer to someone else's, whether you disrupted something old or invented something new, or whether you became so passionately embedded in a hobby or skill that you couldn't imagine not taking it to market, your business was born. You toyed with it, talked about it, maybe you made a prototype of your product. You wrote lists, started planning, and began goal setting. You believed in your idea, knowing it would be something tangible that people could hold or utilize, and that it could change the world and the way things had always been done. And all of this became part of your business, bringing your idea to life. The process of launching a business is much like the lead-up to your wedding day. The build-up is immense. The planning, preparation, time and money that goes into your big business launch day is just as immense. You build a website, create a marketing campaign, plan your social channels, and tell your friends, family, and every person on the street about the incredible product or service that you've developed. You set up landing pages and pre-sale orders to build the hype. Your innovative idea is about to be birthed, and you want the world to know. The part that everyone seems to forget is this. It's not the wedding day that truly matters, it's the marriage. Launch day arrives. Navigate Biz is my passion project. It's one of the 13 businesses that I currently own, and it's the perfect example of such build-up. It's also the perfect example of what typically happens on and after launch day. As soon as you launch, and immediately after, your friends and your family support you for the most part. They buy into it, they share the message and cheer you on. Perhaps they even make a purchase. Because of this, the first few weeks feel pretty good. People like you. They really like you. Of course, by you, I mean your product. But it's easy to confuse the two when you launch. You are not your product or your business, even if you're selling your intellectual property or personal brand. Then somewhere in the first 2 years after you launch, you realize it wasn't the wedding that mattered at all. It's the marriage. You realize that while you were planning the perfect wedding, launch, you should have been planning to build a sustainable, long-lasting marriage, your business. No one told you what it would take to sustain your business for years to come, and you were so focused on the launch that you never took the time to find out. Let me interrupt your story with a statement that you need to hear. You're not alone. This scenario is all too common, and I've seen it repeatedly with clients, customers, friends, and acquaintances. But the data paints a true picture. According to November 2020 research by Fundera, here are the facts. 20% of businesses fail in their first year. 30% of businesses fail in their second year. 50% of businesses fail within 5 years. And 70% of businesses fail in their 10th year in business. Let's return to your story. You watched 1,000 YouTube tutorials on how to build an Instagram following. You followed a branding expert. You read the handbook on launching and marketing. You did the course on building a website. However, you never learned how to understand critical business systems, such as sustaining cash flow, employing your first recruit, growing a team, cultivating culture, data analysis, understanding market shifts, raising capital, finding customers, closing sales, creating self-awareness, copywriting to sell, building a database, and establishing customer relations or client contracts.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?